Hello, everybody. It's Chat with Chap and Rose Resource Room again because I'm your host, Ginger Wade, and my co-host is
Ro Uwagwe.
We're so glad to be together one more time through this holiday season and the end of the year. It's actually super fun doing these things together at the end of the year. I love it.
It
Maybe
really is.
this will be our new tradition, is doing these end of the
Ooh,
year episodes together. I like it.
I like
I
it.
like it. Yeah. So happy New Year's Eve to everyone. We are at the last day of 2024. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh.
That is great. What a crazy year. We will get into 2024. But I wanted to talk to you guys for a few seconds about last episode. If you didn't see the Christmas Eve episode, we were talking about Advent and traditions and wonderful things that come with the Christmas and holiday season. And we touched on Advent. So Advent means like coming, what is coming, in anticipation of what is coming. So some things I didn't get to share in that episode that I just wanted to like bring up today as we like are stepping over the threshold into 2025, which is crazy. What is coming? Like what is
Mhm.
coming in your life? What is coming for you? What is coming for your family? What is coming for your church? What is coming for your community? What is coming for the nation, your state? Um, look, looking forward, what is coming? What are you anticipating? And you can be anticipating good things and bad things, actually. So, what is it that you are thinking about? So, in my thinking over these things, I'm reminding myself. If you have watched me for any amount of time, you've heard me talk about my mantra, which is beloved, release. Remember you're beloved, release all things to God, and just what is it now that God is calling me to release? That's looking forward to what it is that God is asking me to hand over to Him. And then part of that is you know, forgiving yourself for times that you failed, forgiving others when they have failed you, and remembering to worship and praise and give thanks and making that daily, even
Right.
hourly, worship and praise. I think that is part of where God is bringing me in 2025, which maybe I'm jumping ahead of myself. But what do you think, Ro?
So I think that's really good that we're talking about Advent and because a lot of times we think about Advent, we understand that it's the expectation of the coming person, Jesus, right? But as we look forward to 2025, we're expecting a new year. So it's really good. For me, for planning, it's always good to reflect on the previous year or the current year so that you can look forward to what's coming, the Advent, right? So a couple questions I always ask myself is like, what do I need to integrate into the next year? And I look back at this year or look back at the year before and said, I would really like to do more of XYZ. And then I think about what do I need to eliminate? And that's a big one for me because Ginger knows like I'm moving from FOMO, which is the fear of missing out, and really
Yes.
trying to embrace the JOMO, which is the
Jomo.
joy of missing out. And y'all, it is so hard, right? Like there's so many opportunities and you want to jump on them. And like I used to try to trick myself and I'll say, God, only send me opportunities you want me to do, only open doors you want me to open. And while that's all a cutesy cutesy prayer,
Yeah, yeah,
there's a level of discernment that we have to do
yes.
and say, it's not a good time. It's not the season. Or just no, right? Like never. It's never the season for it.
Yes,
So I say all
yes.
that to say, what do we need to eliminate? Look at 2024. What do you know you need to get rid of, right? What no longer serves you? And then think about like support that you need or things that you want to bring forth. So when Ginger was talking about Advent, she talked about things like, you know, um, what do you need to do? Is there something that you need to forgive? As she talked about releasing, right? Do you need to forgive yourself? Do you need to be more gracious and give yourself more grace? You need to give your kids more grace. So all those things. It's a really, really long a really long way to say, look at 2024 as we start to plan for 2025. So for me, one of the things that I loved about 2024 was the opportunity to travel more. And this was personally, it was professionally, and it was even like for homeschool purposes. Like I saw Ginger at the end of January into February because we had the Midwinter Conference. And then I saw her again in June because we had CHAP convention. Then I saw her again in September for the HSLDA conference. So like going to homeschool conferences has been like such a blessing for my family to see veterans, newcomers, and all these different people with a shared goal and a common mind to in one space that has been really encouraging and really uplifting. Um, One thing I loved about 2024 too was my family and I traveled to Ohio for another homeschool conference. But then because Kentucky was so close, we went to the ARC encounter and it was so wonderful to just see like imagine man's vision of like what the ark could have been when Noah had all these specifications and like live in a relationship where God was like, do this, do that. And then now this is the man-made version of it, right? Like imagine the grandeur of the actual one. So that was really amazing. And then, just like the simpler things, spending time with my family and spending time with my parents and my friends and reading has been such a beautiful thing. We've done a lot of read alouds like we did because of Winn Dixie, which is fun, but it still has a great
Oh,
moral.
yes.
And then we did
Yes.
the Trumpet of the Swan, which, like you learn about the resilience and the determination of like the family of the swan. And we did Charles Dickens, A Christmas Carol, and we did all these different books. But like that's something that we really enjoyed. And as I think about it, I'm like, okay, so I want to integrate more into 2025. What about you, Ginger? Like what did you love about 2024?
Yeah, well, I also loved those trips. How energizing. It was so good to be together. Like midwinter was great. Like the response to that, I was like, wow, this is amazing. So we're doing it again. But then, and then convention, yeah, being together and sharing from my heart what God has put in my heart to share with others about homeschooling and stuff. I don't know, it's a joyful thing to do. And even if there's only, two people there, whatever, I'm just happy to share with people who need encouragement. So that was
Absolutely.
awesome. And then being able to be poured into, like I spent a lot of time pouring into others, but being able to be poured into in September when we were at those conferences, oh my word, it was huge. And then to be with you and other people on the chat team that are so invested and excited about it. There is nothing that is more energizing than other people stepping beside you and, jumping into the mix with you. And that, man, that just fuels you for the thing that's coming, to what's coming in 2025. So
Yeah.
was awesome for us this year. It was really great to see some of that turnaround as far as CHAP goes. Things are looking up. 2020 and that time frame was so bleak and so like, oh my goodness, but it's starting to feel like we're coming up out of it, and it's feeling really awesome. But on the home front, like, yeah, we read so many books. It's so good to just read together and hear those stories and talk about things. My kids are getting a little bit older, so we can start to really have conversations
Mhm.
about what we're reading. And then we're also, you know, if it doesn't specifically draw faith into it, we're drawing faith into it. Like,
Oh
what
yeah.
do you think about this character set? And we're really having some really good conversations. We've been doing history together, even with my sophomore,
Yeah.
just discussing things that she hadn't been involved with our history for a year or two, but now with that older student perspective and
Mhm.
having conversations, oh man, that has been such a joy. And it's been great to like kind of release my kids a little bit to discover the things that interest them and to do things with that. Like yesterday, they all decided they're going to learn to knit. All of
Okay.
them, all four of them. They all four sat around and were knitting. And it was really funny because my college student came home in the evening and Steve and I had a board meeting. We walked downstairs and I looked at him with a really stern face and I said, "Why are you not knitting?" He's sitting there in the living room with the other four who were trying to knit. It's hard. It's really hard to learn how to knit. And he's sitting there with his laptop and he's like, and I'm like, you were homeschooled. Come on.
Right.
It was funny. Totally a joke, but it was really funny. So yes, we enjoyed that and lots of memories this year. We did a lot of, I don't know, just reflecting and looking back on fun things that we have done. Part of that came out of the drama that I direct. We just wrapped up. If you are local to me or follow me at all, we just the weekend before Thanksgiving gave our production for the year, and it was really good. And it's so fun to teach children about theater and bring things together and put on a production. But I finally got the bright idea of posting our videos on the YouTube channel. So I created a YouTube channel and I have 12 videos that I've done with this co-op. And of course, the quality isn't really awesome, but this last one's good. But you go back and you, oh, I remember that. Oh, I remember that. And you're, so we're remembering all the things, and it's really fun to see, my oldest from 12 years old, moving
Yeah.
on through the ranks, and then all the kids following afterwards, and remembering all those things, and the hard work. But it's just such joy to go back and look and see what has come from all of that. So 2024 had many challenging times, but many good things too. Like God
Mm.
really working and really showing himself, and just me learning to just trust the process more and be willing to say, I messed up and I need to grow in this. And yeah. And, yeah, so it's good.
So I remember asking you for book recommendations and you shared the best Christmas pageant ever. I think that was last year. And the kids and I read it, absolutely loved it. And this year, I don't know how I even found it, but something just came up in my feed saying that there was actually a movie. I texted you
Yes,
about
Josh
it.
Jenkins. Uh-huh.
And we watched it, we read it again, and then we listened to the audiobook, and then we watched it again. And like what you're sharing with your drama production, it just made me think back to the best Christmas pageant ever, because sometimes we think to the perfection of like it has to be perfect and the production has to be perfect, everyone needs to be there. And then if you're not familiar with the book, you get like a family like the Herdmans who are nothing close to perfect, but it's a reminder of Jesus came for them too,
Yeah.
right? So like
Yeah,
that's always like a
absolutely.
beautiful reminder. It was really fun watching that with the kids and just like looking at the differences between the book and the movie. But that was really good. But one thing you said to me just now about like, just sometimes like you don't get the help that you want. It makes me think of this Lisa Bevere message that I was listening to. And this woman she was interviewing said, as ministers or as mentors, we are help. We don't get help. Right. So for 2025, one of the things I want to focus is me. Like I want to put myself on the to-do list. There's so many
Mhm.
times, Ginger, where like I will make food and like I'll serve everyone's food and they're eating and I'm like, what am I gonna eat? And it's not because I didn't make enough food. It's like my kids love pasta, my husband loves pasta. I'm not really a pasta. That's not my thing. So like I'll make it and then I don't feel like making another dish. So then I'm
Mhm.
ending up like looking for something. But what happens is eventually I need fuel and then I go to sugar. So then I'm not
Um,
eating the healthy things, right? So for 2025, one of the things that I want to nurture is my body, my spirit, and my soul. So we're going to start off with that. Like one of the things for 2025 is putting me on the to-do list. I'm a homeschool mom. I make my own schedule. I need to be able to be on it, right? So
yes.
whether that's like that can look like reading a book that's not a kid's book, right?
Yeah. Oh, they make those?
What a novel idea. I remember in September I had to go to DC for a trip and I was in the hotel room reading Much Ado About Nothing, right? Like I'm doing Shakespeare because I had the time. So for 2025, I want to be intentional about not reading books I think I should read. Like, oh, this is a spiritual development book. It's a
Yeah.
leadership development book. It's a self-help book, but I just want to read it for fun. And that's
Mhm.
going to be like one of my intentions. So for my body, it's nurturing my physical body. For my spirit, it's listening to people who really align with my Christian values and like nourish my soul and equip me.
Mm.
And I have to say really quickly, I've been listening to the replays of CHAP. Like just last week, I listened to Rebecca Spooner again. And
Mhm.
like I'm just getting so much wisdom. So
Mhm.
2025 is going to be about continuing to nourish spirit, soul, and body.
Yes, that's awesome. So yeah, and I agree with that. Like I've been thinking about a lot lately about what's been going in. What
Ooh.
what is influencing my brain? Why am I thinking
Mm.
what I'm thinking? And it's so easy with the quick snippets you grab on YouTube, social
Yeah.
media, whatever. And oh, I'm just listening because whatever. But I think it does affect you. It does affect the way you approach things. So um I'm moving forward. I need to be a little bit more careful, I
Yeah.
think, with where I'm getting my information or how it's being presented, because there's some that are I don't
Edifying,
know, what's that?
edifying or not.
Yeah, more uplifting, and it's the same topics, but the approach here is biblical, and let's process through this and think it, and this is like maybe
Mhm.
more snarky or
Yeah.
with an edge to it. So I think I need to do a little bit more thinking about that for myself. And also just really, and this is challenging. I know there are very special people out there, and I love you if you're one of these that can do this. But working through conflict and
Mm,
not being afraid of working through conflict, but just having conversations and asking questions and getting answers before formulating the thoughts
hmm
and the opinions and the
hmm
judgments, maybe.
Yeah.
And some people just love getting into that nitty gritty and they're totally about it. It tends to make me jumpy and nervous.
Yeah.
I like to be everybody's buddy, right? I like to be everybody's friend. So when there's conflict, there's something amiss there. And I have so many gracious friends around me that it's pretty smooth for the most time. But in 2024, I have encountered some things where it's like, ooh, that's revealing something ugly in me, and I need
Mm,
to work through that. So I'm looking forward to it because I know when working through it and letting God guide me in it, I'm going to be more like Jesus. And I'm going to
mm,
be more the person that Jesus wants me to be. So I'm not afraid to go through it. I don't really know necessarily what it looks like, but I know it's something I need to face. And fortunately, I'm in a place where I can say, okay, he's going to help me through it.
hmm
So, in that way, I am looking forward to it. It'll be challenging, but I'm looking forward to it because I want to be more like Jesus. I want to be the person that he has made me to be and to fulfill the role that he has given me to do. So in that way, I'm looking forward to 2025. And I just think that there's a few changes that have happened in my family in 2024 with just my kids getting older and things happening that I'm anticipating maybe not in 2025, but before too long, my family could look really different in a good way, in
Yeah.
a good way, welcoming people into my family.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm just kind of seeking God to prepare my heart for that and for the change and for loving on whoever comes our way and building more relationships and that type of thing. So I'm in the span of transitional years here, and we're just kind of continuing on in the next steps of being a parent of older peoples that are now
Yeah.
adults. So I'm looking forward to it. It'll be good. It'll be always learning, right? We're
Always learning.
always learning.
Yeah, when I
So
signed up for this homeschool thing, I thought I was just going to teach my kids math and reading, and I'm like, oh, this is a journey for me. I'm being taught too. Okay, didn't realize that. Nice trick, God. But I say that because what you're sharing, all I'm hearing is dangerous prayers. Prayers, because like when my pastor used to say, if you have a noisy neighbor and you don't deal with the situation and you move, you may have two noisy neighbors, right? So, what I hear you saying as you're trying to create boundaries and try to create grace and space, I also hear opportunities.
yes,
Meaning, Jesus is
yes.
not just going to download the thing, he's
Yeah,
going to give you
right.
opportunities to develop in this
Hmm.
person and be more Christ like.
Yes.
And I know this from personal experience. I remember like earnestly praying to God, like, Lord, I'm not a patient person. I don't have tolerance. I don't have patience. I just want things when I want it. I want it now. Give me patience. And I'm here, Holy Spirit, activate patience, download it. And that's what I'm expecting. And I remember my husband saying, okay, bro, I've been living in this apartment. We're going to start having kids. Let's start looking for a house. And I'm like, okay, you look for a house, you look at two, you look at three, you look at four, you like this one, you pick it, choose, pay the money, sign, close. 8 years, Ginger. 8 years. And I'm like, so I'm just not going to pray for anything anymore because if this is the way you teach me, and listen to the irony, I'm learning patience in a situation that I have to be very, very patient about. I'm like, I don't learn that way. I need you to give me the things I can be like, oh, that was nice, but while I'm half joking, I'm really hearing a lot of opportunities. But the last thing I wanted to share based on what you said is as you're starting to welcome people into your family because you have your son who, he may start bringing potentials home, be that person who you wish you had. Like, I don't know the relationship between you and your
Yes.
mother-in-law, but
Yeah,
be
yeah.
that person who you wish you
Yes.
had, right?
Hmm.
Like,
Hmm.
another person I mentioned again is a woman I love, Lisa Bevere. She wrote a book called Godmothers. And it's just the idea of being that person who you didn't have. So you do mentorship through CHAP from the
Mhm.
homeschool side, but also as these women are presented to you, once he chooses,
Yes.
maybe it's about being that person she always needed in her life and not like looking at her limitations or what she doesn't have, right? So being
Yeah.
Christ-like is
Yeah.
being all things to all men, right?
Yep.
Like filling those gaps and things of that nature. So I'll be praying for you, Ginger,
Yeah,
because those are
thank
some
you.
bold
Yeah.
prayers.
Yeah, that's exactly what my prayer is. I mean, yeah, just the past few days, it's just really hit me. And I just, just guide me in being the person that either that he needs me to be, obviously,
Yeah.
and that maybe this person needs me to be, and to be the warm, loving, relational person. I lost my video, so I'm gonna try
Yeah.
and turn it back on here. Turn it back on.
There
Okay,
you go.
that was weird. To be that person that they need and to grow in that way. So yeah, good things, learning. Learning is good. Learning is
Yeah,
good. And you know what? If we have our hearts set on we're just going to be learning all the time and teach our
absolutely.
children and that is going to do so much for our homeschool everybody out there.
I
it's
know.
it's just life is learning,
It
it's
is.
ah
And there's one thing you said that I just kind of glazed over and I wanted to roll my eyes, but I knew you were right. When you said trust in the process, I'm like, oh my God, somebody else is talking about trust in the process. I don't want to trust the process. Like, tell me how the
yes,
process, like, how does it go, right? Like,
yes,
the
yes,
whole
yeah,
trust in is the not knowing part too, right?
yeah. So yeah, I was thinking when you were talking about, oh, just give me the instant, that's good. It's the process is what teaches it to us,
Hello.
right? It's going to stick. That long process for you, it was so long, but that's going to stick, right? It's when you go through that challenging process,
Yeah,
you're not going to forget it easily.
there you go. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. That's it. And that is one of my goals for 2025. I want to enjoy the journey. So all
Yes.
that I've been talking about in terms of slowing down, it's not just because I want to sit home and do nothing. It's as we're reading the book, as we're learning the math, as we're doing it, it's not just check, done, next grade. It's literally enjoying each moment as we're making breakfast together, as we're making lunch together, as we're cleaning. Like cleaning is one thing I do not enjoy because I'm like, why was the house this messy to begin with? It was just clean 10 minutes ago, right? So that's one thing that I'm working on where I don't want to be this maniac always saying, clean the house, clean the house. But it could be like, let's put on some music and we're gonna dance with the mop and the
Yeah,
broom and
right.
like all that stuff. It sounds idealistic and it sounds like loosey goosey, but it's possible to actually enjoy everything. And I do believe that Jesus came for us to have life and to have it more abundantly. And that means even when we're cleaning, even when we're waiting for the thing,
Mhm.
even when we're doing all the things of trust in the process. So
Right.
I
Well, and
really
all
want
that stuff,
to enjoy.
all of that stuff can be an act of worship. God has given
Ooh,
you
that's
this
good.
home, right? God's given you this home. God has given you these shoes. God has given you these toys. God has given
That's
you
so
each
good.
other. Let's worship him by taking care of it. You don't
Mm,
let your everything fall to pieces, including your body, because God
mm,
has given it to you.
that's
So
right.
we feed it good things. We can't, well, I want sugar. Well, no, you're going to eat vegetables, and and it's sometimes it's really hard because I myself,
Yeah.
I want to eat the sugar, but God has given me this body. I got to take care of it. I got to exercise. I got to sleep.
Oh,
I got to
yeah.
drink enough, all those
Water.
things. Yeah. Yes. Yes. Drink enough water. Um, and, uh, and it's an act of worship. All the time that you're doing those things is an act of worship. So
That's
good for
really
you.
good. When
Those are
we take worship into in the genuine context and not just la 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 la, sing the
yeah, yeah,
song
yeah,
and worship God, but like literally making our bodies a living sacrifice, making our
yes,
lives an act of worship. That's
absolutely.
beautiful. I like that,
Yeah,
Ginger.
yeah. Thank you.
Anything else you're looking forward to in 2025? Maybe on like the homeschool front?
Well, I tell you what, we have so many awesome things coming up with CHAP this year. So if you haven't been following on the Facebook feed or in the e-news, we have some save the dates. Now, registration isn't open for these things, but I'm going to tell you some save the dates that you need to be aware of because like I said, we got together in September at these conferences together, and everybody was churning out the stuff, the ideas, right? It was so great. So, um, with CHAP, we have coming up in February, we have a whistle stop tour and the Midwinter Conference. So, y'all might have heard about the Midwinter Conference. It's going to be the 21st and 22nd of February. I think that's right.
It is.
Yeah, okay. And same place, Farm and Home Center in Lancaster. And we are going to have the 2-day event. And Saturday of that day is going to kick off our Whistle Stop Tour. Well, what is a Whistle Stop Tour? Well, the Whistle Stop Tour was that Andrew Pudawa from Excellence Institute for Excellence in Writing is going to come and share wisdom from his homeschooling experience and encourage you in your homeschooling journey. So he's going to be there Saturday and giving us all kinds of encouragement. And then he's going to be out in State College on Monday. He's going to be in State College, and those locations will be revealed soon, but on Monday, and he's going to be talking to you homeschoolers out there in State College, and then he's going to move on out to Pittsburgh, and he's going to spend some time with you homeschoolers out there in Pittsburgh. So I know y'all think, why is everything in Central Pennsylvania? But we're doing that's the idea of the Whistle Stop Tours. We're moving throughout the state so we can connect with all of you guys. We can let you guys know more about CHAP and stuff like that. So we're really excited about that. So to save the dates for that, starting on the 21st of February, and then I think it's the 22nd, 24th, and then 25th of February, we are going to have events going on throughout the state. And midwinter is 2 days. We're going to have Kevin Bowden from HSLDA come up and talk to us about the state of homeschooling in the nation, which I think is really important. It's really important.
It is.
And I know you hosted an online presentation of this with Scott Woodrow, right, in October.
I did. Yes.
Yes. So if you were at that, wonderful. I know it was really well received. It's the same kind of information. We're summarizing what is coming up and how we can be prepared as homeschoolers for what is coming in 2025 and the years to come. So, and we're going to hit it again in convention because it is that important. We as homeschoolers cannot be sitting around going, oh yeah, homeschooling's good. It's always going to be here. No, like we fought hard to have the right to do it, and we have to fight hard to keep that freedom to do it. So we are going to be hitting that hard again in Midwinter Conference, and we don't have all the speakers lined up for that, but I believe there'll be a little bit of Gretchen Rowe there, and Bridget Anderson, and Steve Demme, and possibly even Ethan Demme. So we will see what shakes down with that, but keep your eyes peeled on the CHAP e-news and on our Facebook page. And then of course we have convention coming up in June, and that is really rolling. We have Heidi St. John coming in, and Mike Ferris is coming in, and Jeannie Fulbright, who you might know from Apologia's Young Explorers Science Curriculum. So we have a lot of really awesome heavy hitter speakers coming in. We're doing the special needs again, and we're doing how to start homeschooling in high school, and all these wonderful things that we're doing. Graduation and the used curriculum sale is back in its normal functioning way. So that is just really good things coming up with convention. And one other new thing we're going to be doing is April 15th, we're having Capital Day. So we invite homeschoolers throughout the entire state to come on in to Harrisburg, and we will be meeting. Doug Mastriano will be there. Will Estrada from HSLDA, who is our lawyer with HSLDA, will be coming up, and I don't think if Jesse Topper will be there. We're going to have a number of other representatives. I think Tom Jones will be involved. So we are going to have people there, and again, be connecting and get tours of the state capitol, which is gorgeous. And yeah, just encouraging people and getting involved with our legislators there. So, and we're really hoping to build our legislative team this year. So if you have a legislative bent, we want to get you connected, because we want to learn how to talk to our legislators and stuff.
That's right.
And I mean, this is good even if you're not in Pennsylvania. It's good to know how to get involved and to know how to talk to your legislators, because everybody has to be on the lookout.
That's right.
For what's coming with homeschooling. So I don't know. There's some good things that could be happening regarding education with the next administration. So we'll see what happens with that. But yeah, see. So yeah, those are the events that CHAP has on their calendar currently. And yeah, we're always looking for helping hands to join in what we're doing and make these things happen, and maybe even start other things that you have in mind. So yeah.
That's right. Yeah. So remember, look at 2024, start to do your reflection, start to answer questions like, what's holding you back? Like, if you're on the fence about homeschooling, don't climb over, jump over. Yes. Like, let's do it. Yeah. Let's do it, right?
Exactly, exactly.
And if you're in the trenches, start to think about, okay, how is it going? What's working? What do I need to start, stop, continue? Where do I need to make a change? And just
Yeah.
remember, like Ginger said, exercise is important. We need to take care of our body. So move, 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 move. And as Ginger
Yeah.
says, keep the blood pumping,
Blood pumping.
the blood pumping.
Yes.
All right. And I think that's really it. Like really do your reflection for 2024. Keep what worked, make changes. You don't have to throw out everything, but if it's not working, figure out why it's not working and make it
Mhm.
better and have an amazing 2025.
Absolutely, absolutely. And don't be afraid. Like if you're thinking about the homeschooling thing, you haven't done it yet, just jump in. There's no precise way to do it. And if you're
Mm,
already in and you're thinking there's a precise way to do it, there is no precise way to do
right.
it, right? It is different for everyone. It's different from day to day for some people.
Oh
It's
yeah.
just, it's your lifestyle. Like we have said
That's right.
before, it is your lifestyle. Teach the lifestyle of learning. Let's learn together. That is
Yeah.
what we're doing here as homeschooling. Let's learn and make sure that, Christ is the center of that, and learning
Mhm.
to walk with him and listen to him as we're walking along. So he is directing our path on our journey. And honestly, that is what, that is what we're doing. That is what we're here to help you with.
Yep.
All the legal parts if you're in Pennsylvania, but all the curriculum parts and all that stuff too, and how what that looks like, and just the freedom. Oh my goodness. It's
Yeah.
just awesome.
It
I
is
think
really awesome.
that do you think that this is kind of, off the cuff, do you think that we as a society of Americans have really kind of lost that taste of what it means to be free? Like
Mm.
do we feel comfortable with the idea of being free and having that responsibility? Or do you think this is something we kind of have to fight for to regain that
That's such an interesting conversation. I'll
hunger for
definitely,
that? Yeah.
yeah, I think I would move towards the latter. I think we've gotten to a place where we're so used to being told what to do, when to do it,
Yeah.
how to do it. Like even in terms of thinking, I remember thinking of America as being this place of like free thoughts and free thinking and critical thinking.
Yeah.
And then now it's kind of like if you don't all agree or if you don't regurgitate information that someone has given you, then you're called different names, right? So like if
Yeah.
you deviate a little bit from the status quo,
Yeah.
then things are changing. So I think even in regards to freedom, we've been tied for so long mentally that we don't even
Hmm.
realize. So I think
Hmm.
it's something that we need
Hmm.
to fight for, and it's something we need to reclaim because it's
Yeah.
ours. Freedom is a right, it's our birthright.
Yeah.
So I think we definitely need
Yeah.
to fight for it, protect it, and do everything to maintain and keep it.
Yes, absolutely. So out there, if that level of freedom scares you, don't let it. Just there, and this is where, oh, I'm doing the right thing, or I might get ostracized.
Yeah,
Well, things like that might happen, but you know what? There's community, there is support, and it might not be your immediate family, unfortunately.
yeah,
I hope it is, but there, come to chat. Come to our communities, come to our Facebook page, come into places, find places. There are people around you who are homeschoolers that can support you in what you're doing. So don't be afraid to be weird
Mhm.
and to be different and to be
We're
out in
peculiar
front.
people.
Yeah, right. Everybody else. Steve and I have for so long have been used to doing things before everybody else comes along and follows along and catches up. We just kind of gotten used to being weird. So yeah. And so just embrace that. And I know it's kind of makes your head go, whoa, but
Yeah.
go with it. Yeah. Don't not homeschool because of that type of fear.
That was a
Right.
really good reflective question, Ginger, because I've heard people say to me, I just need someone to tell me what to do, or I just need someone to do it for me. And that has been what has been holding them back, right? So as you reflect for 2025, think about, am I not making this decision because I don't feel I have the right structure? There's too much freedom, too much flexibility. And if that's what it is, CHAP actually has mentors. You can get on the phone with someone
Mhm.
and talk through this and say, I don't know what I need to do. I don't know how to choose this. I don't know how to, create my schedule. There are people who can walk you through this and kind of hold your hand. And for the freedom piece, you get to make it fit your family. You don't have to do what everyone else is doing or try to be someone else's family. You get to make it beautiful. And that's a piece that's scary. We can talk you through that.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. You can do it.
You
You
can
can
do
do it. You
it.
won't regret it. Your children will love it. You will, there's growing and adjusting in all things.
That's
But
a theme.
yes, yes, yeah, that's the 2025 theme. Growing and adjusting. So it's a good one, Mama. Keep it in there.
Yeah.
So, all right, Ro, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for joining me.
My pleasure.
It's been good reflect.
Wishing you all an amazing 2025. You know how to find us. Keep us updated. Let us know what you're doing, where you need support. And I
Yes.
hope to see you in February or in April or in
Yes.
June.
Yes. Wonderful. Yes. We hope to see you. We can't wait to talk with you, give you a hug, chit chat about what's been going on in your life. And you know what? If there's something you want us to talk about, please
Yeah,
let us know in the comments. We want to be talking about what is relevant to you
that's right.
and what concerns you. So we are here for you. And yeah, so here's to 2025. Yay! And you know what? If you do your countdown early at 7 o'clock and can put the kids to bed, it's okay.
Totally okay. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Until next time. Bye, everyone.
Bye.